Good day, everybody, and a warm welcome from Zagreb, Croatia. It's a perfect day to kick off with the fourth edition of Serious Rough Pitch, the Balkan Way. I am proud to acknowledge that this year we received a record number of 44 applications, which is doable that of last year. Doable meaning double. And out of which 8 projects from 8 countries, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Georgia, Greece, Hungary, Montenegro, and Serbia, were selected to participate. All this proves that we are on the right tracks when organizing this event, at the same time addressing a strong need to collaborate, ensuring the further development of stories coming from small countries. My name is Martina Petrovic, and I'm also head of Creative Europe Media Desk Croatia, and I'm going to be your host today. In order to make this event happen, I had a great support from my dear friends and colleagues, media desks, my partners in crime, how I like to call them, starting with, in alphabetical countries order, Bulgaria, dear Kamen Balkansky and Vasil Nikolov, Cyprus joining us this year, starting with Nenad Bogdanovic and his team, Georgia also joining us this year with dear Keteman Shengalia and Dinara Maglagelice, Greece, Anna Kasimati and Alexios Tsiakoniatis, Hungary, Adam Pasternak and Agnes Laura Kovac, Montenegro, Ivana Đurašković, Serbia, Una Domazetowski, Milan Đorđević and Ana Ćosić. My big thank you for supporting and helping me out. We are also truly and deeply honored to have 2 wonderful, amazing mentors who have been part of this Balkan journey since the very beginning, always so supportive, so caring, and always believing in our stories and this initiative. So I would like to call Helen Granqvist, producer from Sweden, to say hello. Hello, dear Helen. We just need to wait a bit until the sound comes, as it is a live stream, as we know it.
Hello, Martina, and thanks for having me and Valeria once again. It's the 4th edition of this program, and it has been, as previous year, a fantastic journey into Europe. It's so obvious that a part of our European story is to be seen the Balkan way, and 8 projects, all have worked very hard, amazing stories. And extra for this year is that it really tells us the importance of art and our imagination, to say.
Yeah, this was very interesting and really tempting to see in all projects. So thank you, dear Helen. Now we move to the jury. This year we decided to have a combo of old and new friends. So I would like to start with the old friends who have been around since the very beginning. So I welcome Andrea Hoffman from Co-Pro Series Berlinale Co-Production Market. Andrea, hello.
Hello, everyone, and thanks, Martina, for setting this up, for organizing this event. It's great to be part of this again, and yeah, warm greetings from Berlin.
Yeah. Now we move to France. Bonjour, Solène Moreau, Serious Mania, welcome. Solène was also with us since the very beginning. So let's see if Solène can say hello. Hello. And we wait for the sound.
Hi.
Hello. Nice to have you back.
Thank you for having me, Martina, this year again. It's really a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us and supporting us. Thank you, Solène. We move also to one old friend of ours, Grace Maharaj, representing with Sweden. So, hello, Sweden.
Hello, thank you so much. Wonderful to be here again, and again, wonderful to see the projects and learn about the fantastic projects that are coming from the Balkan pitch. So wonderful. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for being with us. And we have two new friends in the gang. So I would like to welcome Rosa Toivonen. She also is starting with this year to be co-head of TV Beats Forum within Tallinn and Baltic events. So Rosa, I think you're in London, right?
I don't know if you can hear my voice.
Yes, it's very deep and profound. Yeah.
Hi everyone, and it's nice. It's like the Eurovision Song Contest, so you're always saying, I'll say like Finland, 12 points. So I'm actually in Norfolk, which is sort of northeast of London, and we are doing a recce here for a film. So we are looking at locations. Actually, there will be a big storm this afternoon, so they just change our schedule a little bit. So I'll try to hang on here while also attending the recce. However, very happy to be here. Very nice to meet you, my fellow jury members, and very excited about the pitches. I love the Balkan way of thinking and telling stories, so very excited.
Thank you, Rosa. Yeah, multitasking is something that is so common in this film business world, so we are all aware of that very much. And respecting gender balance in our jury, we also have one man representative. Last but not the least, it is our great honor and pleasure to welcome actor, writer, dev actor, co-founder of Act4 from Iceland, Olafur Dari Olafsson. So welcome. Nice to have you with us for the first time, maybe not the last time.
Thank you so much. No, please have me again. I would love to do it.
But not that early, because it's very early. Yeah.
I was shooting till midnight, so I'm a little like this, but I'm waking up. Thank you for having me. It means a lot to me. It was a pleasure to listen to the pitches. I was very it's just a lot of fun, and there's a lot of good stuff that's happening in there. So I'm just looking forward to hearing more.
Thank you, Dari. Thank you for being here. Yes, indeed, the jury will definitely have a difficult task to decide about and among 3 awards, starting with Series Mania Free Accreditation Award for the next year. Then special mention on behalf of the tutors popped up with €1,000, referring to the project which made the best progress, taking into consideration the training program and the pitch, as well as the main pitching award, totaling €6,000. As we mentioned earlier, we have 8 projects coming from 8 countries. So let us dive into the Balkan stories. Starting with Cyprus, the project's title is Ataxia, and a wonderful duo, Christina Trifonos, writer and director, and Andreas Filactou, creator and producer attached to Black Lemon TV, will present the project. Let's have a look at the video.
In the Mediterranean, there lies a heaven of sea, sun, and love.
Skillfully disguising a haven of scandal, corruption, and general decay.
Welcome to Cyprus, the arena of our story.
A place where sexism, racism, misogynism, and many other isms flourish, as well as a rich collection of white-collar crime and political manipulation.
Now, if Cyprus is so bad, why are we still here? Because misery loves company. Through despair, we found each other. The series came about because of our need to be the change we wanted to see in our society. Andreas, me, the producer and playing one of the leads, is the hopeful one. Christina, the writer-director, is the nihilist who always sees things from the dark side. So we balance each other out, as our characters will do. And our story begins with
Zoe. Zoe is a dreamer turned cynic. She works in a dingy bar, watching her life slip away one drink at a time. One day on her way to work, she makes a stop and she hears,
"Help! Thief! My savings!"
She sees a man holding a purse running away from an elderly woman, and in that moment something clicks inside of her. Instinct. I have to help. And so the chase begins.
A man walking his dog gets in her way, and she points and shouts,
"Thief!"
This gives the man a deep rush of adrenaline. In his mind, he already sees himself transform into one of the heroes in his beloved comic books.
Running through the streets of Nicosia, they cross paths with a man in a suit on a really fancy bicycle, and they shout,
Help!
"Thief!" Now, our man in a suit is a man of routine. He is definitely not a man of action. In fact, he really dislikes the idea of getting involved, but someone did ask him for help, so he very reluctantly joins the chase.
The three of them very clumsily stop our personager. And so we have a three-way vigilante meet-cute that sets everything in motion.
Our three characters had one thing in common. They didn't know they were dead inside until they felt alive in that one moment of action.
Getting drunk at the bar afterwards, they wonder, maybe they could do more good? This small act is the spark that will start a fire. It brings them together with the purpose of stopping the downward spiral their country is in.
Unfortunately, they have no idea how, so they turn to vigilantism. An admirable, yet quite idiotic choice, since they have no idea who or what they are fighting. Armed with bad sticks and gadgets, they get themselves in fights with drug dealers, they steal a police car radio, they land themselves in gunfights, and they accidentally uncover a human trafficking ring, essentially interfering with all the great powers that run the island.
Their accidental disruptions piss off powers that are greater than they ever expected, and without knowing it, they kick off the greatest shitstorm Cyprus has ever seen. Christina and I have been partners in crime for 11 years now. In Cyprus, we have founded a company that has become a safe space for artists like us. We have created the first streaming platform, and we have the biggest podcast community in Cyprus. This project, Ataxia, has already been selected for labs and presentations at Fantastic Fest in Sitges and Midpoint Smash Cut. Season 1 of Ataxia is 10 episodes of 30 minutes each. We are at the development stage, and we have a Bible, first 2 episode scripts, and treatments for the rest. The budget is 450,000 euros, and we are looking for funding and co-producers. Thank you.
And I kindly ask Christina and Andreas to join us for the Q&A. Hello, Cyprus.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello, bring us some summer over there. Hello.
It's still summer here, so you can join whenever you want.
Oh, thank you. Next time we do over there. So let's see who's going to start first from the jury. Maybe a new friend of ours, Dari, will start with the question. So, Dari, let's hear you. We just need to wait for the sound a bit. Hello?
Hey, guys.
Yes, perfect. So, please go on.
Yes. I've never done this before, so my questions might be incredibly stupid, but here goes. When listening to your pitch, which I really enjoyed, by the way, thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
But I have 2 questions. One is you have 10 times 30 minutes,
Yes.
which, I mean, I know there is drama that's 30 minutes, but usually that's comedy. And I was just kind of thinking about the tone of the series, because you mentioned quite a lot of very serious crime, and that sort of made me think, is this more crime drama? But then, yeah, that's my question. What would be the tone, the atmosphere of the show?
Thank you. Basically, we describe Ataxia as a dramedy, as an action dramedy series. So basically the way that we approach this is that while the arena, the environment that they live in is quite dark and quite devastating for a lot of people, mentioning all the issues that we mentioned, their relationship between them and how different they are from each other creates a comic relief, basically, because their miscommunication is often quite comedic. So this is what balances it out. It's sort of you've got their relationship, which is comedic, but they're trying to do something quite serious in a very serious environment. And that is the reason that we went for 30-minute episodes as well, because even though it is dealing with quite serious issues, it will be quite fast-paced in order to capture the chaos that they live in, but also sort of their rash decision-making and how sort of unaware of how to navigate all of this they are. So a so fast-paced kind of episode, which we think if it went beyond 30 minutes, it might be too much information to absorb in a longer format.
Okay, great. Fantastic. And just so you know, I mean, I really enjoy the kind of 30-minute drama as well. I think it's a new thing, and I think it's a really great idea.
Thank you.
So also I just wanted to ask you, because you at some moment in the pitch, because the pitch has to be 5 minutes, you can't get too deep into it.
Yes.
You mentioned that all the characters, all three, they all have sort of the same view of their surroundings. Is that it? I mean, they all have the same views of living in this state, but they all come from different parts of the world, right? One is a businessman, one is...
They come from totally different backgrounds. One is white collar, the other one is blue collar, and the third one it's a working class hero. So all three of them, no matter that they're coming from totally different backgrounds, class backgrounds, financial backgrounds, their perception on what is happening in their society is the same. They can see the corruption, they can see the injustice, they can see all the things that are happening. So doesn't matter what background you're coming from, at the end of the day, the problem is the same. And they get affected equally on what is happening around them.
Okay, guys, I don't want to take too much time, so I'm just going to say thank you for the pitch. And
thank you for the questions.
Yes.
Thank you, Dari. We will move to Solen. We just wait a bit until Solen jumps in.
Sure.
Solen, hello. Hello. Let's wait the sound.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. So please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, Dari asked some questions that I also had about the tone. So I might ask the team to maybe elaborate on the relationship of the three characters. How will it develop? Because we just have a starting point in your pitch. And their views is supposed to be the same, but what are maybe the conflicts that will appear between them, or how will they evolve together?
Of course.
Thank you for the question, Adone. So basically, just like the pitch says, they may have, basically in the pitch we sort of mentioned that they were all dead inside until they felt alive. And that is the one thing that their worldview is quite dark. Like they are all aware of what is happening in their world, but none of them actually had any way of doing something about it. So that's just a little spark. But as they come together, the truth is that in the beginning, they will have a lot of conflict on whether they should be doing this vigilante thing or not. And it is basically each person's sort of life experience and what happens within the next couple of days after this event that leads them to come together, each one for different reasons, what we call different triggers, but eventually with the same purpose. And this relationship between them is going to be complicated because even though they recognize the problems, they also have entirely different views of the problems, each experiencing it differently. So it will be a very complicated path for them to actually be on the same page eventually. Like they sort of start, if it was a book, they sort of start at the end of the book where they sort of ended up here, but the pages that are going to get filled are not the same for each one of them. So they need to sort of find the common ground to get to that last page.
Okay.
Thank you. That brings me to another question about the format. Will there be a case of the week that they have to solve, or is it more on the season? Can you tell us more about that?
No, there's not. It's not episodical. The whole season is gonna be a linear journey for them.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
And so we will stop here, and we are going to move to the next project. Now we are moving to Georgia. The project's title is Staged, and it's going to be presented by writer and director Miranda Namisheshvili. Let's have a look at the video.
Meet Zura, the once celebrated theater director, whose career was crushed by the government for his controversial theater plays. At 56, Zura, forgotten and disgraced, drowns his sorrows in alcohol, alienated from his friends, family, and colleagues. The only place he's still able to work as a director is children's theater. But as ambitious as Zura is, he makes his students play Hamlet, which is too much for them, and he's very strict about it. So he makes children cry, their parents angry, and as a result, Zura loses this job as well. While he struggles to find meaning in his life, a new opportunity appears. He is visited by his ex-wife and mother of their adult son, and she tells Zura that their son is part of opposition political party's youth wing, and he needs his father's help for upcoming election campaign. At first, Zura says strong no. He does not want to make his hands dirty by working for politicians. But he changes his mind as soon as he learns that his biggest rival is working as a PR director for the government. He always suspected that his rival strongly contributed to his downfall, and deep inside his heart, he wanted to take revenge on the ruling party. So he accepts this job. It's time for all to know that Zura still has his professionalism and passion. And he turns out to be amazingly good at it. He orchestrates the carefully planned events, scripted conflicts, staged protests, and media manipulations, all designed to destabilize the ruling government. As a result, Zura's collaborators, the opposition party, becomes new ruling force. Finally, success for Zura. However, by the end of first season, there's a hint for darkest twist. When Zura slowly starts to contemplate whether he helped to replace the one form of tyranny with another, making stage for explosive conflicts and deep moral dilemmas for season 2. The series is called Staged, and it's more than a political drama. It explores the power and art of behind the scenes of political landscape and uses themes like manipulation, ambition, corruption, and morality in order to ask deep questions, such as, is our everyday life, is our reality just part of one big theater performance? Where is the line between what is real and what is staged? And whether we as people and as an audience are enjoying being manipulated by those in power as much as we're enjoying a good theater play. The project is in development stage with pilot script ready and series outline. There's gonna be 6 episodes per season, 45 minutes per episode. And this project was part of Torino Film Lab's TV series workshop and is attached to Georgian version of Netflix. I'm Miranda Namichashvili, writer and director of this project. I have made several award-winning short films. I have been intern in Hollywood in 2019 for a production company, and 2 of my films were showcased on Cannes Festival. I have worked on different TV and film projects both in Georgia and internationally, and my first feature film project is in its development stage. For Staged, I'm looking for collaborations and co-production possibilities. Thank you for your attention.
Okay. And I would like to invite Miranda to join us for the Q&A. Miranda,
Hello.
are you there? Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hello and welcome. Hope you're also having nice weather in Georgia, Tbilisi.
Oh, yeah, but it's already cold.
Let's see who has the question for Miranda. Maybe Grace or Andrea. Who wants to start first? Grace. Yes, I can hear you, Grace. Yeah, perfect.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your pitch. As I understand, it's early development, is that correct?
Yes, the pilot script is ready and the season synopsis and outline. Currently are continuing to write script.
And just, if you could just give me a sense of the tone that you plan for the series.
Drama and satire, political drama, but also with heavy symbolism of theater, like parallels with theater world.
And then how many episodes were you planning or you're thinking for this series?
6 episodes per season and 45 minutes per episode.
And just one more question, and you are looking for co-production outside of Georgia or within? Tell me how you were thinking there.
I'm looking for outside of Georgia.
Yeah.
Within Georgia, there is a production company attached. It's a company that produces TV series and has streaming platform, sort of like Georgian Netflix, and also national TV podcaster as a distributor, and also help with post-production.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. Anybody else? Maybe Rosa or Andrea? Would you like to ask a question? Or Grace ask all questions? Okay. Let's see. Dari.
Yes.
Hello again. So, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you, Miranda, for the pitch. I just wanted to ask you about the tone of the lead character, because when you were telling the story, he is someone, if I understood it correctly, is someone who's making sort of experimental, sort of in-your-face theater pieces, but you kind of mentioned that he gets rejected by all his friends and he ends up quite alone on his journey when he's fired by the government or pushed out of the theater. And I was just wondering if there's a specific reason for that. Is he a tyrant? Is he snobbish? Is he just likable? Or can you expand on that?
So he gets fired because he makes controversial play, but he didn't know it was like he did not intend it to be controversial. Like he's not into politics at the beginning. He's very dedicated to his craft, and he's sort of very like a childish person who likes rock and roll and art. But in one of his plays, he mentions ostrich, which is an offensive nickname for the prime minister. So he takes it personally, and that's why he gets blackmailed from every theater and every work.
Okay. One more question, because there were no women in your pitch. What would be the women parts?
Yeah, I did not
would be
maybe
interesting?
said it specifically, but his biggest rival, who is a director for government, is a woman. She is a professional director, and she's like very strict person who makes all these plays for controversial situation for the government. And Zura, main character, and Elsa had been like long time rivals.
Thank you very much.
And also his ex-wife is a very important character through the story.
Okay, thank you, Miranda. It's a pleasure to meet you. Good luck.
Me too. Thank you.
Thank you, Dari. Thank you, Miranda. And this was the project staged. So we will also wait a bit. The third project is the Hungarian project with an interesting title, Do the Dead Eat Strawberry Cake? Presented by writer, director Gergely Ipac and producer Peter Roško, attached to Blue Duck Art Productions. Let's have a look at a video.
When Jacob's wife dies, giving birth to their daughter, Jacob feels that he has lost everything. He wants to move away as far as possible to escape his pain. He finds a gravedigger job in a little town. He lives in a tiny house just beside the graveyard with his daughter, Emma.
The people in the village don't want their children to play with Emma. They think that Emma and her father are weird and scary. But Emma doesn't care. She loves her graveyard. It's her kingdom, full of her imaginary friends, who happens to be ghosts, her cat, and the crows. She has her favorite hideout, which happens to be a crypt. Emma doesn't really speak with her classmates. They are afraid of her and call her a grave bug. But she doesn't care about others' opinions, and she always wears red, her favorite color.
Emma's father, Jacob, used to be a cook on a ship. He makes delicious meals when they spend their evenings together playing their favorite game, Battleship.
But one day, Emma's perfect life is distracted by a childcare investigation because of her unusual living conditions. The investigation is carried out by a woman, Teresia, who thinks that Emma's biggest problem is that she doesn't have real-life friends.
So, Emma starts to befriend her classmate Peter. He had a twin brother who died, and Peter goes to the cemetery every day to sit on his brother's grave. Problem solved for now, Emma found a living friend. But not only that, for the first time in her life, she has a flesh and blood partner in crime. They love to spend the night in the cemetery, sneak into forbidden crypts, or steal the childcare investigator's documents. But above that, they also have a deep understanding between them what it really means to grieve.
But when the childcare lady, Teresia, shows up, Emma has to face a new problem, because a romantic affection between her father and the childcare lady seems to have grown. At the beginning of the film, Emma lives in her imagination with her imagined ghost friends. The story shows how she develops trust through friendship outside her bubble and connects with a real flesh and blood friend.
The Do the Dead Eat Strawberry Cake story is an existing and popular IP in Europe. It is based on Rosemary Eichinger's book of the same name. which has won the Austrian Youth Grand Prix on Novels. This novel has been translated to many languages and was a big success in Denmark, Germany and Hungary too.
Regarding its theme, this series will be similar to Moonrise Kingdom, while its humor and setting would be like 6 Feet Under. And whoever liked Wednesday, the series, will love our show as well. Our genre is a coming-of-age dramedy.
We have a second draft version of the script in English, which is available upon request. We are planning 5 times 25 minutes episodes for the first season with a budget of 1.5 million euro. A Hungarian TV channel is willing to jump into a co-production with us, so now we need a foreign TV channel or content maker producer who sees potential in this. And now the final question is, do the dead eat strawberry cake?
Let's find out together.
And now I would like to invite Gergely, Greg, it's easier, and Peter or Peter to join us for the Q&A.
Hey.
Hello. You are not in Budapest, right?
We are in Amsterdam at Cinekid, yes. Promoting the co-production for it.
Oh, okay. Good luck with it. So who's going to start first with the Q&A, the jury? Maybe Rosa.
Hello there.
Hello.
Thank you for the video pitch. It was a very nice story to hear pitched like that. And I would like to ask you, maybe, I don't know how much you deal, but probably you deal also in the financing part of your project. So what is your overall goal for the budget, and what is the financing structure? Let's say now that you're in the co-production forum, who are you looking for, and what part of your production are you looking for co-production partners?
Yeah, so we have developed the second version of the script with the help of the Hungarian National Film Fund, and we have been encouraged to find co-production partners to move further with the funding development. And we also have a Hungarian TV channel who is backing us, who also said that in a co-production he would be interested to work with us. We have an approximate budget of 1.5 million euros. And with the Hungarian tax rebate altogether, we have 50% of it, more or less. And obviously, it depends on the production partner. So it does matter whether it's a Visegrad co-production with foreign countries, or even if we go to Norway or we go with Holland, for example, which can change the financing structure of it. Maybe equity investors will come into play, but really this project is in a phase of finding the similar minds who sees fantasy in this story, and then we can move on further development of what kind of move to the packaging side of it, what kind of stars we want to have in internationals or locals, what the language will be. It all depends. It's right now it's kind of an open question depending on the like-minded. Did I answer your question?
The sound was...
Yes, you did. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Rosa. And maybe Andrea, do you have a question for them or anybody else?
Yes. So thank you very much for your pitch. I was wondering which audience did you have in mind, or do you have in mind by writing and developing the series? Is it a younger audience that maybe identifies very strongly with Emma's, with the little girl's imagination and her imaginary world, or would you open it up, the target audience, to adults as well?
Yeah, our main audience is the young audience. So our main hero is Emma, but also her father plays a really important part in the story. And it's a series, so we have several important storylines And Emma's father and the child care investigation lady also has a really interesting plot and arc. That's why it will work as a family series genre as well. But the main audience, it's the young audience from 8 till I think 14 to 15, as Emma's age is 13. So a lot of really important questions and problems will show up during the story.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Thank you, Andrea. Okay, so you're going to, oh, Chris, there you are.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your pitch. From what I remembered, it was an IP from Austria. Is that correct? So it's based on a young, is it young adult or a little bit younger children's book or property?
Yeah, for youngsters, yes.
Yeah. I'm just curious, just touching on what Andrea says as far as an audience, that, that age group is such a hard age group to reach to today, because of other media platforms. So I'm just fascinated how you will approach that and how, what is your thoughts about that? That'll be interesting to hear.
Yeah, let me grab this one. I have 2 daughters, an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old, almost turning 30. And I see how they consume these films, series. And I see that the 8-year-old is looking upwards to the topics of the 12 and 13 and 14-year-old topics, and the 13-year-old, she's like a young adult. She is looking up every kind of stories. So that's what we said, from 8 and upwards with this film, because I'm sure that for the 13 and above, it will be a harder sell. But we believe that this cemetery is a sacred place for everyone. It's interesting to talk about, interesting to see. And if you have seen the mood pictures, maybe in the pitch, as you can see, it's going to be a spooky, strange, but also warm environment, which can be, because we cited Wednesday, the series, that we said that whoever may like this one as well. However, it lacks the horror element of it. There will be some with the ghost, but not horrific as Wednesday was. And that was also a world which is unique. And we want to create that atmosphere to be unique and to be intriguing for them to talk about, right?
Yeah, and in addition, that the format is also this shorter 22, 25 minutes long episodes are really important. That I think it's easier to, catch up with this shorter form. And during the distribution, I think the social media, the TikTok platform is really important. As you mentioned, Wednesday, there was this really famous Wednesday dance that during the development, I think it's really important to keep in mind that we have another visual platforms as TikTok, and the memes and several additional communication elements. It can be really useful that the TikTok audience will go to, for example, to a streamer, Netflix, HBO, or anything. So I think you have to be really conscious about the distribution as well during the development.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Grace. And this was the project Do the Dead Eat Strawberry Cake. And now we're going to start. Now we are moving to Bulgaria. The project's title is The Gene of Doubt, presented by writer and actress Zvezdomira Bojana. Let's have a look at the video.
In the very near future, in a European metropolis, a scientist discovers the gene of talent. A positive talent test becomes necessary for anyone who wants to showcase their art, providing guaranteed success. A negative test makes an artist invalidated. A Pandora's box opens. that shakes not only the art world. Sarah is a devoted kindergarten teacher who dreams of building her own family with James, a successful writer who can't deal with the failure of his second book. James decides to write a new book to prove his brilliance to the world, but his publisher insists that he should take the talent test first. James arrogantly refuses, hiding his fear. Sarah turns herself inside out to help James, sacrificing her job, sleep, and dignity. But James gets rejected from all publishing houses, as talent certification is now the dominating trend. Exhausted and unhappy, Sarah begs James to finally take the test and end their suffering. She shares with him she only dreams of having a child. James blames her for betraying his ideals, and Sarah leaves him for good. Robbed of his element, broke and alone, James goes underground and joins the anonymous artists movement with like-minded people who hate the test and what it stands for as much as him. Sarah finds shelter and love with her best friend, a former student of James, who just became a certified author. But Sarah discovers that the guaranteed success and fame suffocate his creativity as he is pushed to produce book after book. Determined to save the sanity of her now husband, Sarah comes up with the idea of ghost artists. She goes to James, and he can't resist her offer to sell himself for a chance to be published and properly read again. Liberated from his need to prove himself, James discovers the freedom to risk and fail, and the novel he creates turns out a masterpiece. Sarah's husband can't deal with the false prize and spirals into madness. Angry and guilty, Sarah publicly exposes the false practice of talent certification, reclaiming for all artists the privilege to doubt, and for the audience the right to choose for itself. Why are we fascinated by this series? All humans seek security and success, but not artists. Artists go against their basic human instinct for safety and dare to risk, fail, doubt on their way of discovering, or not, new continents. Gene of Doubt is a painful satire examining the very genesis of art. It is a limited series of 6 45-minute episodes in English language. Set in the very near future in a European metropolis, it will feature an international cast. We're adapting the book by Greek author Nikos Paniotopoulos, published internationally from Germany to China. I am Zvezdomira Bujana, actress and writer. I'm writing this project together with Zornița Sofia, the director. She has made feature films awarded and screened internationally and directed 7 primetime TV series in Bulgaria. We are developing the project together with Concept Studio, our main producer, with a subsidy from the Bulgarian National Film Center, and are looking for international partners, broadcasters, and platforms.
So I invite Zvezdomira to join us. She's also together today with Zornița Sofia, so her writer and director, to help her out with the Q&A. So welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
So Zvezdomira and Zornița. So who's going to start from the jury with the questions? Do I hear anybody from the jury? Solène, the floor is yours.
Hi, thank you for your pitch. I have a question about your references for the tone and style, because you mentioned it's a near future satire. So would it be something dystopian, like a Black Mirror episode, or more on the dramedy side between the relationship with your characters? Can you elaborate on that? Thank you.
Okay. We do not want to do a dark dystopia. Quite the opposite. We want the world, it starts more dark and realistic, and as we go into this new world of the certified world, it will become more shiny and bright with big malls showcasing art. So it will be more of a satire, maybe dramedy, than a dark dystopia for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see if we have one more question for Zvezdomira or Zornica. Andrea.
Yeah. So you're planning this as an English language series, if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned that. Yeah, where would you like to shoot this? Where would you like to shoot the series? And do you have, or are you looking for partners from a specific country or region?
One option that we have is in Bulgaria in our new Bujana Film Studios, which has a set that can look like London or New York, so we can film there. But depending on our partner, we are open. So depending on them, we could be filming in any big European capital.
I see, yeah, and also co-producers potentially could bring cast, because I think we're also talking about.
Yes, definitely. We are definitely looking for an international cast, and as international as possible. If we could have all the main characters be from different countries to have a metropolis feel, and also to have making the bigger international co-production. That is definitely our aim.
Yeah. Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. So this was Bulgaria. Now we come to Greece. The project's title is The Shepherd, and it's going to be presented by trio. Nikos Boursanidis, co-creator, writer and actor, Philippos Titsos, co-creator, writer and director, and Stelios Mavrodontis, producer attached to Filmiki production company. Let's have a look at the video.
Hello, I am Nikos Boursanidis, co-creator of this series and playing the main character, Michalis. Growing up in a country where every teacher tells you that you will never, never achieve the greatness of your ancient ancestors, Michalis still aspires to become a sculptor. His father, though, has an extremely successful souvenir shop in Athens at the footsteps of the Acropolis, and it is inevitable that Michalis must take over when he retires. So instead of following his own dreams and making his own art, Michalis, now in his early 40s, single, with receding hairline and without a close circle of friends, he still copies ancient objects for his father's shop. Until, due to the economic crisis and a German conglomerate buying up all the souvenir shops in the area, Michalis declares bankruptcy, steals the shop's storage of souvenirs, and travels back to his home village, where he discovers an intact 3,500 years old ancient Macedonian tomb, full of valuable objects. He then puts any moral dilemmas to the side and organizes secret excavations, selling priceless findings on the big black market of ancient artifacts. Michalis must now deal with local criminals and the dangerous world of savage smugglers, deals with wealthy collectors and art dealers, and begins to climb up the pecking order of the global network of the illicit antiquities trafficking. When a charming rogue German archaeologist, also known as the female Indiana Jones, played by Leticia Eido, known from Fauda on Netflix, crosses his path, his morals are challenged, as well as his dusty heart. Her personal mission is to safeguard and bring any ancient artifacts she finds to museums. But Michalis has gotten greedy already, and he cannot stop. Poor farmers, rich mafiosi, honest and dishonest archaeologists, insane collectors, greedy art dealers, corrupt museum directors, all clash in a dangerous treasure hunt, find to snatch from the earth ancient objects that have been there for millennia and belong to our global common cultural heritage. You know, this is the carousel that we live in Greece every day. We say that if you scratch the earth a little bit, you will find an object of incredible value, thousands of years old. Well, who would you be with such a treasure in your hands? Like Michalis, I am at heart desperate to get off this carousel, driven forward by capitalism and a patriarchal political culture. And I want him to make a better choice. But can he make a better choice? Here to continue is the co-creator and director of the series, Philippos Tsitos.
Hi, I'm the director, Philippos Tsitos, and this is my debut as a series creator. I have been directing fiction for German TV for over 20 years, and all of my feature films have won prizes at Locarno, Berlinale, and San Sebastian. Nikos, our protagonist, is an award-winning actor and novelist, having won the Greek State Prize of Literature, and has starred in films of renowned directors like Martin Campbell, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Theo Angelopoulos, for which he was nominated at the Berlinale.
Hi, I am Stelios. I am the producer of the series, coming from Filmiki Productions, which is one of the leading companies in Greece. The Shepherd is a satirical, dark humor, 6-episode series aimed for the international audience. It's an organic co-production between Greece, Bulgaria, and Germany, with shooting planned in all 3 countries. We are currently at the development stage, having prepared our pilot script, the 6 extended synopses of the episodes. We also have co-producers on board from both Germany and Bulgaria, and we have secured developing funds from the Greek Film Center.
So, to conclude, this story shows how easy money keeps getting the upper hand, as it also digs into our pain of this cycle of stealing, giving Michalis' journey a deep sense of betrayal. The prevailing motto for many people today is, make it big at all cost. We want to challenge this measure of what a successful life is and what the cost of egoism is for our common world. Thank you.
And today with us we have the trio from Greece. So we have Nikos, Philippos, and Stelios. And let's see who's going to join first in answering the questions on the Greek team's behalf, and who's also going to ask the first question from the jury members. Maybe Dari.
Hello.
Who is ready from the jury? So we have the Greek team and Dari. Yes, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I was just wondering sort of about the tone of the series, because you guys started about the main protagonist's dream is to be an artist, a sculptor, if I remember correctly. And then that sort of disappeared from the pitch. And I just kind of wanted you to elaborate on that. Is that does that connect with what he is finding, or what? Please tell me.
Yeah, well, the tone is like I've heard so far from the other projects, and I want to congratulate them also. It's a dramedy. Maybe dramedy is the tone of the era that we're trying to cope with all this is happening with a sense of humor. Yes, he is a sculptor, but he had to, our main character, he had to take over his father's business. So he's making all the copies of ancient Greek objects. And then all of a sudden, he finds an ancient Macedonian tomb, and he is exposed to the ancient art that he wanted not to imitate, he wanted to learn from. So this is a start of his inner conflict, because he's selling all these objects in the beginning, but then he uses his craftsmanship to copy all the things that he's finding and sell the copies.
Okay. Thank you. That's good to know. It's good to know the tone. I was kind of torn between it being just a straight up drama, but I can really see the humor in that, or the irony in that. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because you see, let's say it's a drama where there is a necessity for a sense of humor.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Thank you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Dari. Anybody else from the jury? Grace, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the pitch. I don't want to assume anything, but I was hearing a heist thriller. Could I be wrong?
Well,
I think it was
is
very
also
interesting.
that.
Sorry?
It is also that, yeah.
Yeah. How many episodes do you have, or are you planning?
We're planning 6 to 8 45 minutes episodes.
And you have do you already have a broadcaster on board, or is it in development stage, or can you explain where you're at?
We are in development, but I'll let Stelios to continue with that, because he knows better, our producer.
So Stelios?
Cyprus is... we have one broadcaster on board. He's from Cyprus, it's Alpha TV Cyprus. And we are also in talks with the Greek broadcasters to join. We're in the early development stage. And we have already secured the financial support of the Greek Film Center with the development funds. And we have also submitted for a mini slate in the Creative Europe, also for development funds.
And what's your budget?
We're estimated to have of about 800,000 per episode. So we're talking about something like 5 million, depending on the above the line, on the casting. But that's the rough estimate.
And you also mentioned on your pitch that you were looking for co-production partners outside of Greece. Is that correct?
Yes, we already have two co-producers. Well, we have Juna Film from Germany, and we also have Miramar Film from Bulgaria. The two places are organically involved in the project. We have shooting at those locations. And we're also looking for a third co-producer from a third country, at least one, that organically can be incorporated in the project, maybe from the UK, but it's been involved in the story. Because we're looking, having broadcasters on board from each country. So we're trying to make the project appeal to the broadcasters from each country, and also take advantage of the funds from each country, from film centers, and also cash rebate programs.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you very much. Thank you for your pitch, the presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Grace. I think this was it from the jury, and this was the Greek project. Thank you all. Now it's the Serbian project. The title is Perfect Place for Unhappiness. And Marko Kovac, co-producer, writer, and director, will present the project. Let's have a look at the video.
Hello, I am Marko Kovac, Serbian director, writer, and co-producer of the mini TV series Perfect Place for Unhappiness. My best friend Tosha and I grew up together, shared everything, and still today, 20 years later, I will do everything for him, and I know he's always here for me. Just like the main characters, Goran and Damir, who grow up as best friends in the mountain region of Lika, in a small village close to the beautiful Adriatic coast. Goran is shy and reserved, Damir friendly and restless. Damir helps Goran find a girlfriend, and Goran does Damir's homework. A deep and true friendship. But in 1991, the war destroys everything by putting them on two different sides, so that they can only look at each other at gunpoint. On February 11th, 1992, they even shoot and wound each other. Goran flees to Belgrade, Damir to Zagreb. The war broke them and their country apart. 70 years later, both have become artists in the same place at the same time, trying to forget the past and without knowing about each other. Both with deep wounds and traumas in their bodies, they try to make a career in Paris, one as a painter, the other as a writer, barely making a living, struggling between the hopes of their own ambitions and a lot of disappointments of being immigrants in Paris. They are sharing the same circle of friends and events, completely unaware of the small distance between them, missing every chance to reunite when they get close to each other, until one Tuesday. Goran wakes up next to cold stone walls. It's his second day in prison. He walks into a big hall with a crowd of immigrant prisoners. He looks at them, and then he sees Damir. Goran looks straight into Damir's eyes, 5 meters away. He slowly pronounces Damir's name, surname, date, and place of birth. Damir does the same, and they fall into each other's arms and hug. A long hug, and then they cry. In such an unhappy place, both of them feel pure happiness for the first time after the war, but only for a short time. One is deported, the other stays in Paris to work as a street cleaner. Circumstances have separated them again. This is a story about true and deep friendship that even war could not extinguish. But this is also a story about being an immigrant of misery, of troubled artists, in search of recognition on the back streets of a metropolis that has always been intriguing and sensitive to me since I stayed in Paris myself in a way similar to these characters, with a sense of alienation, emotional turmoil, not fully belonging, trying to survive. An experience like many young people living the Balkans today. As a director, I want to make a series about being the wrong man in the wrong place, about changing roles and being mistaken as someone else. It's a dark humor in our Balkan way with the wounds in our hearts, connecting us to each other here and across Europe. It's 5 episodes of 45 minutes and is based on the novel by the prominent award-winning Croatian writer Damir Karakaš. The novel has been translated into many languages, and critics in the region say it's one of the best books about the life of immigrants. His other 2 novels have already been adapted into successful and awarded films. We have script support from Croatian Audiovisual Center and a Croatian co-producer attached, and a very interested Serbian co-producer. We also have a synopsis for all 5 episodes. And now we are looking for co-writers and French co-producer for further co-development and production.
And now I would like to welcome Marko Kovac, writer, director, and co-producer attached to MK2R Studio, together with Magdalena Petrovic from Croatia and Leva Productions to join us for the Q&A. Hello there.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Magdalena, you are in Paris, right?
Yes, I am in Paris, but representing a Croatian company.
Oh, cool. And Marko is in Belgrade, right?
Yes.
Okay, so who's going to start first from the jury with questions? Let's see, from the ladies' team. Or Dari is brave enough. Dari, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just interested to hear more about the tone. I mean, because I get the friend's story and I think the Balkan War is of course a very dramatic backdrop to a story. It's such an incredible just such a horrific thing that happened. And but these 2 friends, they go through so much, including shooting each other. So what would be the tone that you're looking for? How can we watch it and want them to get back together and all that?
Yeah, thank you. So the series is drama with elements of comedy and tragicomedy both. So actually it's a dramedy with a handful of lively Tarantino's dialogues, especially between characters. So it's some kind of our dark Balkan humor. And with a lot of comic situation over which difficult and tragic events stand, but also with the strong criticism of society and of official migrant policy of large European country. So I would try to build such a vibe not only in the dramaturgical sense, but also through the visual style, and also with use of sound and music. That is my biggest motivation and challenge to, at the same time, that atmosphere of big city, all-consuming city, and that contrast between Paris and the characters from Balkans. So I plan to use raw and card sound like Mandalorian TV series, for example, or some kind of garage rock music,
and with strong bass lines, melodic miniatures, for example, and interplay also between light and shadow can be also important. These are just some of the elements that would further evoke the given ambience.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dari. And anybody else for Marco and Magdalena on behalf of the jury? Solène, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I think you are looking for a French co-producer. So I wanted to ask you, what is the stage of co-production as of now? I think you already have one co-producer. Do you have a local broadcaster? Can you tell us more about the production?
Yes. Thank you for the question. We are in early phase of development. So I am here as a creation producer, but as well as Magdalena producer, working with Marco to develop the project, to develop the package. So the next step will be, so we are still working very much, and the project needs work on rewrites, on developing the characters, on making them more round, more profound. Then the next step, well, it's in December. Marco will go, has a meeting with a big Serbian company who specialized in series, Firefly, and they showed interest few months ago, and I'm very happy how the project developed here during the workshop. So the next step will be this. Then we will pitch to broadcasters starting in Serbia. We will see what are the options in Croatia, but what is most important is find a co-producer in France. So this will be quite a challenge, but I think that this kind of project has chance in France. Especially as lately, there are more and more co-production possibilities between France and the Balkans, organizing by their local funds. So I believe that this can be a topic that can interest international audience and international broadcasters and partners.
Thank you, Solène. Anybody else, or we can move on? I'll wait a bit. Okay, so this was the Serbian project. Now we are moving to Montenegro. The project's title is Pray for Us, and it's going to be presented jointly by writer-creator Filip Jokanovic and director-producer Sara Stijovic, attached to Tiny Sofa. Let's have a look at the video.
It's late evening when Zora, her husband, who is a priest, and their 6-year-old son arrive at a remote village deep in the mountains of post-war Bosnia. The air is unnaturally still, and their new home, abandoned by their last priest, feels haunted. There are bullet holes in the walls, and there is a strange unease that's lingering behind every corner. As Zora is unpacking, she goes to turn on the tap to pour water, but thick black liquid oozes out, and she backs away, disturbed by the sight. But that is only the beginning. Outside, their 6-year-old son calls to his parents, and as they rush out, only to find dead frogs covering the ground. And as night falls, there is a strange knocking that echoes through the village. It's a sound the villagers know way too well. It's the devil lurking outside, waiting for someone to answer knock. And as soon as that happens, terror spreads. There's a swarm of flies that covers the village, and the livestock is found mutilated with their heads smashed against the walls. And with each passing day, Zora's husband becomes convinced that these are the 10 biblical plagues brought to life as a divine punishment for the villagers' buried sins. But Zora refuses to believe in a curse and becomes the protector of her son, as her husband spirals deeper and deeper into religious obsession, losing his grip on reality. And as the plagues tear at the village, and Zora's husband starts feeling that their son is marked for the final plague, the death of a firstborn. And as paranoia spreads and reality blurs, it leaves Zora to question, is this divine punishment or something far worse? She must find a way to escape before the final plague claims her son. Hi everyone, my name is Filip Jokanovic. I'm a writer from Bosnia and I'm the creator of Pray For Us.
Hello from me as well. I am Sara Stijic, a film director from Montenegro. Philip and I met in Lisbon during our master's studies, and we quickly realized that we both carry the Balkans with us no matter where we go. Pray For Us is our first high-end project, and it's a 6-part TV show with 8 episodes running about 40 minutes. The project is now in late development phase and early financing. We have applied for a series development fund at Montenegrin Film Center, and we're looking for co-producers and distributors from the region as well as from Eastern and Western Europe with whom we can take the project forward. Directing this story feels as the woman in me holds hands with the audience while leading them into the darkness, while the director in me holds hands with the devil on the way there. In that sense, I trust that my directorial sensibility, together with our daring decision-making, will guide the audience directly into the heart of the horror genre and open the door for a strong female voice.
As someone who grew up in Srebrenica, the idea of trauma is very much rooted in me. See, I was born in 1994, and a year later, the war in Bosnia ended. And even though I never witnessed the war myself, I grew up surrounded by the trauma that was left behind. I watched how people carried their past like an invisible wound that never truly healed. And in many ways, that's the world that shaped me. And it's also the world that shaped this story. See, Pray For Us was born out of the idea to tell a story that's not only about the horrors that happen, but it's about the ones that stayed within us. It's a psychological exploration of guilt, fate, redemption, and trauma, all wrapped in a gripping, terrible horror story. As we continue the journey of bringing this story to life, we kindly ask you to pray for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we have a duo as well, and I kindly ask Philip and Sara to join us for the Q&A.
Hi.
Hello. Hello over there. You're also not in the same place, right? Philip is in Belgrade and Sara is in Podgorica.
I'm in Montenegro, yeah.
Ah, okay. So who's going to start first from the jury? Grace.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your pitch. Pray For Us. From what I understood, you're making a supernatural horror.
Yes.
Which I love these horror. I'm a fan of that kind of genre. So I'm also curious about how many episodes that you are planning on and what's your duration?
So currently we're planning 6 episodes, around 40 minutes runtime.
And are you just joggle my memory again? You're seeking co-production partners outside of Montenegro?
Yes. Yes. We have a attached Montenegrin company, and we're seeking for co-producers from Bosnia, from Croatia, and Serbia for now, and then Western and possibly Eastern Europe.
And you're setting this in present day, is that correct?
As of now, we're setting it in the early 2000s, which is like right after the war in Bosnia. So it's around 2000, 2001 too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just fascinated about the family, and you know, are the episodes? It's at one linear story structure, you know, with a cliffhanger at the end, so that you know we continue to keep watching. How are you structuring your series?
Mm-hmm. So since the idea of the 10 biblical plagues, so that's kind of the basis that we're going off. As soon as the family arrives, we're going to notice that already some of the plagues have happened. And as the priest realizes that is happening, we are, as an audience, prepared for the next plague and what's going to do to the village, to the family. And also at the end of episode 2, we have a situation where the son actually disappears, so it becomes even a bigger problem for the family trying to figure out where actually the son is. So it's a constant battle against time and against these heavenly punishments.
And so when I'm hearing this, I'm thinking of Stephen King's supernatural kind of like the Castle Rock, for example. Am I not far from that style?
That's a good reference. Yeah, and Midnight Mass and a little bit of The Servant from Apple TV, a little bit of all of those.
Interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the questions.
And thank you, Grace, as well. Anybody else from the jury?
For Sarah.
Andrea?
Yes.
Yeah, so my question goes to Sarah because I think you will be directing the series, right? Yeah. Could you describe a bit more the style that you're envisioning? Like your particular style of the horror genre, and maybe you can just elaborate a bit on some artistic elements that you're interested in or that you're envisioning for the series.
What I find really beautiful with our project is the treatment of time, and I think that's the most important segment in the directorial approach to the entire series, as we are fighting against time, and each plague is a new ticking bomb in some way. So the main approach is to start the series in the first episode as seeing a village that is absolutely beautiful. It's a fairy tale place. There's not one bit wrong with any of that. So we're going into a fairy tale in that sense. And as the episodes progress and as the narrative of the series progresses, we're going more and more into a very suspenseful, dark, ticking bomb approach to the village. So we're going into the darkness. We descend into the darkness in some way, and in that sense. Also a very important segment is the sound approach, because our devil is very much present in sound. So we're going to very much play with the presence sound-wise of being that's not there. And on the other hand, the treatment of the camera and the movement, which is motivated by something which is not there. So the audience is always ahead of our characters in some way, and we're going with the audience into the series and waiting for the characters to realize some of the things. I hope I answered.
Yeah, thanks, lovely. And just maybe to add very quickly, production-wise, I think you also mentioned you're in late development. So I was just wondering, where are you at with the writing right now?
So we already have the pilot for the entire script, it's a 7th probably version of it, and we have a Bible for the entire series. That means long synopsis for each episode, characters, backstories. So we're pretty much ready to go into writing for the rest of the episodes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Andrea. And this was the project from Montenegro. Last but not the least, it's the Croatian project. A Fistful of Nothing is the title, presented by writer and director Jasna Nanut. Let's have a look at the video.
Hi, I'm Jasna Nanut, a writer and director from Zagreb, Croatia. You can watch my previous feature, Seventh Heaven, on HBO Max. A Fistful of Nothing is a comedy series inspired by 11 books by an award-winning Croatian author whose alter ego, Pavle Svirac, is a subversive writer and columnist who has become the voice of my generation that was born in communism, then lived through the war, and is now being run over by galloping capitalism. Svirac and I share a lot of the same bittersweet existential experiences, and now our paths cross in this project. To me, Svirac is like a male Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. It's just that he has only one pair of shoes instead of 500, and he lives in the sexless and apartmentless city of Zagreb, in a country where whatever you do, no matter how good you are, it's usually for a fistful of nothing. In France, with 11 books to his name, I'm sure he would be a star, but here he's just a semi-popular, penniless wannabe. So, Svirac tells himself he'll become a literary superstar in the big city, but he actually came here to escape his controlling mother. She still sends him homemade food by bus, even though he is well over 40. He's a true mama's boy, also completely irresponsible, cynical, and probably the only writer in the world who delivers his books personally, on a bike, meeting his readers, who are usually middle-aged divorced women who offer him hot meals. He, of course, hopes for hot you-know-what, but no. As I said, this is a sexless city. So, Svirac cures his frustration through his columns that depict Croatian bizarre reality, making fun of everyone who thinks they're someone. And it's about everybody here. He speaks the truth no one else dares to, and pays quite a big price for it, like when some thugs throw him into the river. The series begins with Svirac becoming homeless. He is evicted from the apartment granted to him by the ex-mayor, a friend of his right-winged father. Yet, every proper Croat must own a place, as his left-winged mother keeps reminding him, or he is a failure. And in Croatia, to be a failure is a big shame. But finding a new place to live is a mission impossible, as real estate prices have skyrocketed. So when an old and very lonely man signs a contract with Svirac, naming him the inheritor of his apartment, provided that Svirac takes care of him till death do them part, it seems like his lucky break. So Svirac starts keeping him company, buying him liquor, changing his diapers, and he takes such good care of him that he cures the old man from his alcoholism. So he changes his will and kicks Svirac out. Svirac just seems to have that effect on people. He manages to help others, but not himself. To top it all off, his ex writes a book about her failed life with him that becomes an instant hit, presenting Svirac as the ultimate loser. Yet it turns out that his fistful of nothing is actually his freedom to stay true to himself. And eventually it will pay off big time. Each season has 12 episodes of 26 minutes. I have the script for the pilot episode, a step outline for the season, and a detailed pitch deck to share. I have a producer attached, and we're looking for co-producers and a broadcaster. In season 2, a documentary about Svirac will draw the attention of the new mayor, who grants him a new city apartment on a bourgeois hill, and we will follow his life among the elite, which is not what he hoped for at all. The only one who will be truly happy here is his mother. By the way, in his latest column, Svirac bragged about the series being developed about him and said that the title A Fistful of Nothing sounds much better in English than it does in Croatian. He is glad that his misery sounds more dignified in English. So regarding A Fistful of Nothing, it would be great to win the prize, of course, get a fistful of something for a change. It would really help us develop the project further.
And I would like to ask Jasna, writer-director, who is today backed up by her producer, Hrvoje Osvodic, on behalf of the 15th Art Productions, to join us. Welcome, Zagreb. Hello. So, who's gonna start asking questions from the jury? Let's give them a moment. Hello, the jury. Grace, the floor is yours. Or Dari? Who is now? Who is asking question? Ah, Dari. Okay.
I don't know. I'm sorry, I missed.
Who is asking the question? Grace or Dari first?
I'll give the floor to Grace. Sorry.
Okay. Grace.
Sorry, I was waiting for you, Dari. Thank you so much for your project pitch. Can you tell me more about the tone, how you see this, how you see your project?
This serious, so the tone is quite bizarre because this writer of ours, he is a writer, the author of 11 books, but he lives pretty much an immigrant style because that's simply the situation here. And what's funny here, throughout the series, we hear his inner voice, like we hear Carrie's voice in Sex and the City. But the big difference is he exaggerates in his writings while we witness his pathetic reality. And in this contrast lies the humor.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I believe now it's Dari.
Yes, first of all, I just wanted to thank you for the pitch. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I can imagine this character getting into a lot of fun stuff. I just wanted to ask about sort of the state of, who are you looking? Are you looking towards specific places for co-production? Where to find the finance, and so on. Can you elaborate on that?
Hi. Yes, we are right now in early development phase. Last summer we have a pitch on the Pula Film Festival, and we won there. We have got a first award for the pitch. And in the jury, there was commissioning editors for the 3 biggest Croatian TV stations. In Croatia, from this year, we have the new law. It says that the commercial TV stations are also obligated to invest in independent production in Croatia. They're a little bit struggling right now because this is the new thing, but they need content to invest. And the law also says that the independent producer is the producer who owns the rights on the on the script, on the Syria. So basically, they need us. So our plan is to get in this early development phase to attach one of these televisions. And these televisions also has they TV stations in the region, in Bosnia and Serbia. And we basically have the same language. So this program is also very suitable for the Bosnia and for the Serbia. And we will try to attach these televisions from these countries and also co-producers from these countries. So make this kind of dance between televisions and independent productions. And I hope for the first time make something like that possible in our region, because in the past years this kind of co-productions was only possible with national TV, big stations, and the co-productions between the Serbia and Croatia on that level wasn't so much possible. So basically, we are pioneers in that type of producing TV series.
Fantastic, and good luck. It's a great project. I hope you do well.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see if we have one more question for the Croatian team. Grace.
Thank you. I just have a follow-up question, and that is regarding the IP. Mentioned that this is based on an author.
The series is based on 11 books of this writer and columnist. On his main character, his alter ego, Svirac.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this writer and columnist, he lives and works in Zagreb, so he publishes a new column every week. And
Okay.
so
So
material...
just in connection to these co-productions, is the writer well known outside of Zagreb? To the other...
He's known in the region, yeah.
Okay.
He has a fan base in Serbia.
Okay, yep.
He is translated in Serbia.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Grace. And thank you, the Croatian team. So we came to the end of the first session, which combined the Q&A and the representation of the videos. And of course, the jury members will take some time off and decide about the 3 awards: Series Mania for Accreditation 2025, a special mention on behalf of the tutors popped up with 1,000 euros, and the 6,000 euros for the main pitching award. You, dear audience, in the meantime, relax and wait until we announce the awards and come back. I promise we will come back soon. Thank you. Hello, hello, and we are back. The moment has arrived. Are we all ready for the announcement of the awards? So we are going to start first with Series Mania, free accreditation for the edition 2025. So I kindly ask Solène Moreau to join us and explain and give us the evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you, Martina, and thank you everyone for such interesting pitches. The Series Mania Accreditation Award goes to A Fistful of Nothing, because the energy and passion you put in the pitch and in the story convinced me that you could benefit from this accreditation to take it to the next step and hopefully finding partners and co-producers next March in Series Mania. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Would Jasna and Hrvoje say something?
We're really glad and hope to see you there at Series Mania. Thank you very much.
Okay.
This award will help us a lot because the commercial televisions like and love these awards and outside of the business. So this is something that will for sure help us in the future. Thank you.
Thank you and bravo. We are now moving to two wonderful tutors, mentors, Helen and Valeria. We will start with Helen. It is a special mention on behalf of the tutors and €1,000 award for the project, which has really made a huge progress along the way in terms of the training and as the final pitch. So Helen, let's start with you. We wait a bit for the sound, just a second.
Thank you so much, Martina. And before giving this extra award, we just want to thank and congratulate all the participants for your good spirit in this wonderful week together and for sharing your stories with us, letting us into your worlds. It's such a privilege for us to be there with you. You all did really great, and we wish you and your projects all the best moving forward. So thank you for this week, and good luck. And Valeria will now hand out our...
Yes. Valeria, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Martina. Yeah, the coach's special mention was, of course, also not easy, but it is given for the quirky and engaging ways in which this project manages to bring personal emotions and experiences from their current reality and transform them into a comedic tale that truly grabs us, bringing to a wider audience a character with a unique voice that we can all connect with. And on top, she has really embraced the pitch experience and made it her own in this wonderful video that she recorded. So congratulations to Jasna and A Fistful of Nothing from us.
Thank you very much. This was really an excellent experience, the whole workshop, and it was so nice working with you. I learned a lot about the physical approach to the pitch, thanks to you. So in the future, I think I'm going to have a lot of less of stage fright and a lot more of confidence. So thank you very much.
And congrats to both of you, and thank you, Valeria, for the evaluation and the announcement. So we come to the moment of the announcement of the main pitching award, totaling €6,000. And I must say it was really not an easy task for the jury members, right, Dari? So I called Dari on board to have a say and to announce the main pitching award.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always hard to choose from good projects. We, the jury, decided to up our production value by adding waffle into this. Actually, she saw a cat, and I wouldn't be able to speak if we would continue down that road. But the main jury prize from us has to go to a project that's about a family and a society in struggle. It is, we think, a perfect chance to use the macabre or horror to bring on a sense of, well, bring a sense of catharsis out of something as horrible as the Balkan War. And it feels like a perfect chance to use this Trojan horse to lead the audience to connect to these events. And the main prize award goes to Pray For Us for its urgency and for connecting to a new generation by breaking the silence on a bleak event in our communal history and giving us a chance to heal with a highly relevant story. Thank you. It's really good.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Daria, and
This is-
Sara and Philip.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what do you say?
Incredible.
Were you surprised?
The dog wants to say something, I think. The dog is happier than. No, I mean, this is incredible. Our goal was at the beginning for people to understand where we are coming from with wanting to tell this story and wanting to tell it in a genre that's not that common, especially in our regions, and tell this story through this medium, especially a story that is about healing, even though it's a supernatural horror. But we're glad that we were able to communicate that with people. And I think this is gonna give us the boost that we needed to push the project forward and hopefully soon get its own legs to start running. Thank you so much. We really, truly, truly appreciate it.
Exactly. Thank you really, really.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations one more time. So, yes, we came to the very end, and it's the moment of thank you notes. And I also want to forward thank you to dear participants, all of you, for really being so patient and being always, in a way, on time for the training programs and for listening. Above all, congrats to all the winners. Thanks goes to dear tutors Helen and Valeria for being so kind and generous and for really supporting this initiative and believing in our stories and understanding our stories. Thank you all jury members, starting with Dari, Rosa, Grace, Andrea, and Solen for adding and making this Balkan Day even more special. To my wonderful partners in Crime Media desks, you know who you are, in Bulgaria, Croatia, Montenegro, Serbia, Georgia, Hungary, Cyprus. But also to the film centers in Bulgaria, Croatia, Montenegro, Serbia, and Organization for European Progress and Cultural Relations in Cyprus. Thank you goes to the technical team, Igor, Luka, and Mateo from Hiperprodukcija and for making my small office a really cool live stream studio. Lana for backing me up. And as always, it has been a wonderful Balkan journey. And I want to thank also the audience and everyone out there for supporting us and for creating safe spaces we definitely need in order to protect cultural diversity that we actually need more than ever. And allow me for this closure to share a beautiful quote from the book, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy. In one of the reflections, the mole said to the gang, "The greatest illusion is that life should be perfect. But always remember, you matter, you are important, and you are loved. And you bring to this world things no one else can." Translating this thought into our stories. Always remember that your story matters, that it is as important and relevant as anybody else's, and it is you, only you, who can tell the story in a way no one else can. Until next time we meet again, cherish your stories, develop your projects, and good luck. Thank you. See you soon.